Gather up your projects, settle in your favorite spot. It's time to stitch with Sarah at her Stitchy Camelot. Let's celebrate each other, this community we've got. It's time to get down to Sarah's Stitchy spot.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah. Welcome to my FlossTube channel, where we will discuss and celebrate all things cross-stitch. Grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and join me
at Sarah's Stitchy spot.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is FlossTube number 19. It is Wednesday, March the 15th of 2023. We are at the halfway mark of March. I don't know whether to be happy or sad. I know most of you know that we have had a lot of rain in California. Today we are seeing the sunshine, which is nice. The predicted heavy rainfall for yesterday didn't really materialize, at least where we are, as heavy as predicted. But we are still expecting more rain next week. So as long as we don't float away, we'll stitch and make floss tubes, okay? So as always, I want to start my video off with a big hug and lots of love for my husband, Stan, who wrote and performed the opening song that you just heard. If you are new to this channel, welcome. I hope you like what you see and that you will subscribe, share, like the bell. Oh, like the bell. That's a new one. Maybe YouTube started that with their last update. Anyway, I hope you will subscribe, like, share, and ring the bell and do all the things that we do on our FlossTube channels. For my returning viewers, I was just getting myself put together for the video, and I was literally excited because it's just like, you know, you remember those feelings when you were going to go see a friend that you cared deeply about, or go visit family that you cared so much about, and you would just be chomping at the bit and so anxious to see everyone. Well, that's how I feel about all of you. So we're going to have some fun today. I think I have just a little bit of everything that normally happens in my floss tubes. I will start with a couple of things that I've written down here. I wanted to give a big thank you to Angie, the Tiny House Stitcher, and Marie, Stitches and Diamonds, for their stitch and chat across the pond. I got to finally participate in that last Saturday, and it was just wonderful. It was so wonderful to see and put some faces to some names, and to see some other floss tubers, and just to have a couple of hours to share our stitching and talk and again do the things that we do as stitchers. So Angie and Marie, it's a labor of love that you've done, and we all appreciate it. So I wanted to thank you for that. I'm also going to insert some pictures along here. I wanted to show another project bag that was, the pictures were sent to me from a viewer named Tammy, and she rescued, I think, this piece of stitching many years ago, and she's made it now into a beautiful project bag. And so I just thought it was so gorgeous, and I wanted to take a minute to share that with all of you. So thank you, Tammy, for sending that to me. And any of you, please feel free. I would love to share your work, your ideas on my channel. So send them on if you would like. My email will be in the drop-down box below. So let's go to some floss tubers that I want to mention, and I have quite a list today, and some newbies and some that are new to me. The first one is Lisa from Lost in Stitches. She is in Canada. Lisa is a beautiful stitcher. She is a beautiful soul, and she is a Viking queen. She is a breast cancer survivor, And I know that a lot of you out there have fought or are fighting breast cancer, and I think you would enjoy seeing her indomitable spirit as well as the beautiful stitching she does. So that is Lost in Stitches, and I will put all this information in the drop-down box below. The second one is Stitching Bunny, and this is Judy. Oh, Judy, I thoroughly enjoyed your FlossTube. I love the pieces that you stitched. I just loved everything about it. It was great. So I encourage you to go check Judy out at Stitching Bunny. And Judy, I think, has been around. She makes roll-up, project roll-ups. And I did see those on Brenda and the Cereal Starter, and they are just gorgeous. So please go check her out. The next one is Stem X Stitch, and this is Nicole. And I started at the beginning. I haven't binge watched everything, but I sort of watched like a 1, a 4, or 5, and her last one. Nicole is a PhD student in, I think it's in biochemistry, which was one of my favorite of the chemistries. I loved biochemistry and I loved organic chemistry. And she is working on her PhD at the University of Washington. And she shares a lot of that journey as well as her stitching. And again, another young stitcher. Of particular interest is a temperature chart that she has stitched for the first 25 years of her life. It almost takes her ability to do research to have put that together, but that alone is worth the price of admission. So go check out Nicole, Stem X Stitch. I also wanted to give a shout out to the in-hand stitcher, and this is Liz. Liz also has a lot of the same projects that I'm stitching on, so obviously you will know what those are. And she has a very relaxed way about her, and I think that you would enjoy her very much. And finally, I mentioned her in my last FlossTube in connection with Liz, who I had showed you the project bag, and she had gotten that pattern from, and this is Nicole at Darvana Lee Design Studio, and she is in Australia. And so I did get to go over and subscribe and see her videos. She's a multi-crafter. Caroline at Off the Grid, I think you would enjoy her. Caroline explained in her last FlossTube that to really get a lot of work done stitching, she needs to be able to just listen, and she can do that better with multi-crafters than just cross-stitch where she's constantly looking up. And so, Caroline, I think this will be a good one for you. So those were the FlossTubes that I wanted to mention today. And I do hope you'll all go and give them a look and subscribe and do all the things that we do. So that is the shout outs. I know last time I have sort of joked about this with a couple of Zoom stitches that I've done, but I filmed the 18th FlossTube on March the 1st and somehow managed to never say the word Nashville Market. I could probably win an award for that. I think there's probably one out there. But anyway, I did it. And so I'm fessing up. Nashville is always on my mind. I think it's always on all of our minds. And so I just wanted to take a moment to say, I will show you a couple of things that I did pre-order and that I have received. But I just want us to all celebrate these designers and our local and online retail shops, because they work so hard and they are giving us so much beauty to stitch. And so I just felt negligent that somehow I didn't manage. I know I talked about it in FlossTube number 17, but I totally forgot to do it on March the 1st when it was on March the 3rd. But anyway, so I wanted to give a huge shout out and throw love and celebration to all the designers and the shops, most of who have already gone. They bought your products. They've already shipped them. Most of you have received them. And we all know how much hard work that is. So I wanted to make sure that I took a minute to talk about that. So what else do we have here? I have a finish. I have a big finish. And then I have another little sewing finish that I did. And I'm going to start with that. I made another project bag. So we're up to 2. And this one looks like this. And it's just got, I think, some more of the kind of yellow fabric inside. In fact, I don't even think I had enough to do everything. And look what's inside there. Ah, little bits. Yes, sirree. Because this is the bag that I'm going to put his birth announcement in that I'm going to cross stitch. These are, that's Mom and Dad up in Yosemite, and then Mom and Dad holding the baby. But, so Vince is, I think he's a month old now, or just about. You know, time flies when you're having fun. So since I'm there, I'm gonna, because it was a previous purchase, I'm gonna go ahead and show you the picture. Now, Eva did pick this out. This will be the sampler that they wanted. They have a very woodland animal, outdoorsy theme for Vince. And so I haven't started it yet. I did go and get the floss. And I haven't completely decided whether I'm going to do this on the 20 count Aida again. If I don't, I will do it on a linen, because I don't want to do it. I want to just stitch with one thread. You know how I feel about that. But so project bag, and this was, again, this was just material. I was cleaning out some boxes and I found it and I thought, oh, perfect. So it just makes me happy. So that is, we'll just put that here, my project bag. And now, folks, da-da-da-da, I finished Thurza Priscilla Dawes yesterday. And here she is in all her glory. Oh, I'm just so proud of her. I know overall, compared to a lot of other stitchers, I probably haven't done that many reproduction samplers. But boy, as I told Julie this morning, I just really was, I just feel very attached to this little girl. And I'm gonna miss stitching on her. So we'll have to get her framed. And this again was a piece that I did, became my focus piece after I finished Fruits of Plenty. And I don't even think I worked on it the full 7 days for the month of March. So I'll talk about it in plans, if I remember to tell you my plans. I'll talk about what's gonna go in there next. But anyway, that's Thursday. And the other reason I'm holding this up long and hard, if anyone sees anything, please feel free to let me know. So that's Thurza Priscilla Dawes. And that is my finish. So that needs to be framed now. I'm starting to work on another pile that needs to be dealt with. So I think the next thing we will go to are new starts. And my new starts, one of them is going to be Happy Meal as well. And that is Stacy, the 911 Stitcher, has shared the stash with me. And she sent me, and I wanted this chart. I wanted to stitch this so bad. The Red Schoolhouse Pin Keep by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. So I have done a start on this. I started it on 36 count Up in the Attic by Fox and Rabbit. And then the next big surprise that I wasn't expecting was she sent me the Kerri, sorry, the Roxy Floss Co. floss in phthalo red. So I'm gonna hold that up next to the fabric. Look at that. Oh my gosh, this is just luscious. I have been wanting to stitch something in this color. So thank you so much, Stacy, for sending that to me. Oh, and I got a beautiful card with it too that had hummingbird. And as you guys will know, as time goes by, I dearly love hummingbirds. In fact, it's about time to start my feeders out again. I usually like to get them up in March, so I'm past due. But isn't that a gorgeous card? You could turn it and make it shine. So thank you, Stacy. And this is what I have done so far. Just really working on the border there. But I've taken the border all the way across. We had a Zoom call after I received this, and so I stitched on it with Stacy and the girls. So I'm very excited to stitch this piece, and the kindness of Stacy for sending that to me, and to get to use the Roxy Floss Co. phthalo red, because I have heard so much about it, and it is everything that I wanted it to be. So that was really good. So that was a new start. And then my second new start is Ida May. So I'm going to get this stitched. Ida Ray has already gone to the next stitcher. And in fact, I have sent Ira Ray, the completed Ira Ray. I did send him to Tammy Blaylock, and I will put all that information. She's country girl. Oh, I'm going to mess it up, so I won't. But Tammy Blaylock, I sent the finished Ira Ray, and she's going to do. I'm going to let her do the first project bag with my stitching, but just because he's kind of precious. You know, he's all dressed up, had the cool pants, and he just didn't want an amateur making his project bag. So there we go. So this is my start, and I'm doing it on the same fabric that I did Ira Ray, and that's 36 count marbled terracotta by XG Designs. I'm using the called for DMC with a little substitution. I wanted to see what a black sulky would look like. And so I haven't really stitched enough that I think that you can tell yet, but the coverage is, I like the coverage just a little, it's a little bit fuller than the 310, the DMC 310. So all the flowers are done, and I've moved over to start the gloriousness that is Ida May. So that was my second new start since I have seen you guys last. So we've got, all right, we've got that and that. We have Priscilla. Okay, so we did the new finishes. We've done the new starts, and it's time for whips. Actually, my whips probably aren't quite as heavy as they normally are. We've had some power outages, which actually, you know, that didn't really stop me, but I felt like there was something where I lost a little stitching time for me. But anyway, so we're going to jump into those, and the first one will be my Thursday red sampler day. And the first one we'll do is Mary 395 by Hands Across the Sea. This is a Bristol sampler. And I'm stitching this on 36 count ivory, antique ivory, Edinburgh, with the Gloriana poinsettia, primarily with a couple of the alphabets done in the Gloriana hollyberry. And so I'm down in the geometric stuff pretty solidly now. And you can see that I went all the way across now with that first row. In fact, I'll be really honest, I was having so much fun with this that I actually stitched on Mary on Friday morning, just a little bit as well. Oh, it's so glorious just to always have a red sampler going, and always will. So that is Mary 395 by Hands Across the Sea. Okay, and then the companion piece for Red Sampler Thursday is Ursilia Sampler by Samplers in My Attic. And this is the piece that is owned by Jean Lee of The Attic. I am stitching this on a 36 count, Just the Ticket by Tabby Cat, using the Belle Soie, the silk Belle Soie tulip. And this is my I'm jumping around all over on this one because I just love I want to do all the things on it. I love the border, so I took the border across, and so then I went across more with the alphabet. And then I love that big A, just look at that. Oh, to stitch something like that. Isn't that just glorious? And I don't know if you can, hope you can see the variegation in the tulip. That's just beautiful. So enjoying this very much. I was moving some things around, and oh, I saw the pieces that we got at the attic. There's another red sampler in there. There's sort of the I can't think of the name. I won't try to say it wrong. But there was the dark piece by Hands Across the Sea. Oh, there's just, oh my gosh. I just want to stitch, stitch, stitch. So, okay, so that was Red Sampler Thursday, and my two pieces there. What have we got here? We have Mary Snow. Now, it's interesting because I probably put this together, but you know, I have a 7-day focus piece, which was Thursday, Priscilla Dawes. But I am also stitching on a Hands Across the Sea the first 7 days of the month. As I explained last time, I jiggled it a little because of dates and things that I had to do, but Mary Snow did get 7 days at the beginning of the month, and this is the chart for that. This is Hands Across the Sea. Heidi on Stitching Faye has a finish on this, which is just gorgeous. There's been a lot of finishes on this piece, obviously, but I am stitching this on a 36 count Winter Wheat by Color and Cotton, and I am using the called for DMC. And so this is what I have done. I think since you saw it last, I know, I did the swan, the other swan. I've started coming down with the lion, the crown. I did more work on this was all done. I got Mary, and that was a 4-sided stitch, so that was the first time I did the 4-sided stitch. And I always try to put, you know, some flowers and vine work in the border every time that I pick it up. So, Mary Snow. So beautiful. So I think I started to say, and I didn't exactly finish my thought, is that effectively by doing the Hands Across the Sea, which there is a hashtag for that, which I will put below. It's the Hands Across, you know, HATS, first week of the month, Sal, started by Laura Duet of Brendan the Serial Starter. I effectively have 2 7-day focus pieces. One of them will always be a Hands Across the Sea, but that's working for me very well, so I like that. My next one, because I I can't go too long without this one either, and that is the Scarlet House by, the Smith Sampler by the Scarlet House. And I'm really excited because I'm starting to work right in this area. So really only 2 bands to go. So, but I love working on it. And it called to me. Let's see, we are doing this on a 36 count cottage stone by Color and Cotton. I'm using the called for silks, except the weathered vine for the Tacna Gold, and I substituted the Gast Gentle Arts maple syrup for Woolly Bear, which weren't available. This I had kitted up at the attic last year, February of 2021. And this is dangling threads. We won't call them working threads anymore. And you know who you are. Okay, so, but you can see I have brought this border down, you know, to the page finish. I started this bow here in the middle. I finished all of this. I've started this, this band right here across. And I realized that I had a little doggy up here that I had not stitched, which would have been another thing that could have easily been forgotten. And so I did get that in. So that's the Smith Sampler by the Scarlet House. Oh, I do. I love them all. I love all my cross-stitch children. Okay, so put that aside. As I talked about last time, I'm trying to do Christmas stitching on the 25th, which we didn't have obviously between the 1st and 15th. But I am also going to try to do dark 13 stitching on the 13th. And just to let you know how my mind works or does not work, I actually wrote on my calendar on the 13th. Oh, my book. Yeah, we could just take a look at that while I'm gabbing. This is March so far. And I wrote right here so that I would not forget dark 13 stitching. And what did I do? I got the Smith Sampler out. I did, I worked on item A and then finally realized that it had said dark 13. And so I wanted to get out Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. So I think it got most of the afternoon. And this is the chart. So Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. I am stitching this on 36 count Endora by Needle and Flax, and I'm using Vicki Clayton silks. And this is what it looks like now. I know I did get this bird in, and this and some of these little doodads. I worked just a little up here on the border. I am enamored of this fabric. This piece could have done with a little press, but actually I should kind of tell you it's an interesting phenomenon with the thing called an iron. I only really had one in my house because I had 3 daughters, and I thought for historical significance they should know what one looks like when they go out into the world. But with cross stitch and fabric and finishing, wow, I'm actually using an iron, but I'm not going to use it any more than I have to. So anyway, and I do really believe that our pieces don't really need to be ironed over and over and over before we give them that final press, before we do the final finish. But anyway, it was hard to see that pretty moon. So that is Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. And like I said, I'm going to try to do some dark 13 stitching as long as I can remember. And then this is a Sal with a Brijin, Kate, the museum stitcher, Katie, the novel stitcher, Roberta, the sable stitchers, and that is Oh Joyous Day. This just makes me happy. I seriously had a hard time putting this one down. I don't know if it butted up into a day that was called for something, but I really didn't want to put it down. I am stitching this on 36 count flannel flower. So it's the first piece I've done on flannel flower by Fox and Rabbit, and I just adore it. And I'm using the called for over dyed floss, and I'll put the hashtag, which is Joyous Day Sal. And please, if you're working on it, I'm seeing some new pieces on Instagram. Please use that hashtag so that we can all see your work. And this is, Brijin is all the way across the first band. She just put out a FlossTube, and I think she put up a post on Instagram. I'm getting there. I got the pear done and all the leaves. There's going to be some Smyrna stitches right here, which I haven't done yet. I got anxious to get over here into that gorgeous red. And I am going to wait on the satin stitch band that goes across the top until I'm going to do those last, so that I don't catch it on anything. But that's Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Design. I'm thinking about trying to fit a way to put, possibly, I haven't made a final decision, but my daughter's initials on there, because those were joyous days when they were born. So that is coming along. All right. My next piece is another one that, well, you'll see kind of what sort of triggered my mind but got me going on it, is Antonia Roselle E. Garcia. And that is Jan Hicks Creates, and this is the chart. Again, when I started working on it, hard to put down. I'm stitching this on a 36 count Hint of Orange by XG Design, and I'm using the Vicky Clayton silks. And I worked a lot on the alphabet. I tried to do, to take the flowers across. The flowers are fiddly because there is, the flower itself has, the little yellow flower has 3 colors in it. And then there's 2 greens for the vining, and then that blue that you can see that connects them. But this, this color, the variegation in that is just gorgeous, as is this purple. And the border is easy. I really, I appreciate that when you've got, I mean, this outside border is easy and, you know, kind of fun to do, mindless. But as you guys know, I do kind of take my border with me as an anchor for the things inside. So that is Antonia Roselle y Garcia, 1886, by Jan Hicks Creates. Okay, with Vicky Clayton silks. I got a little bit done. I need to because this should be finished. This is the piece by Whilst Iris Naps, Myra Dunn, 1922. I am doing this to honor my mother because she was born in 1922. And I'm using, I don't know what I'm using. I'm sorry, because I don't have my jigger here. But I am using a silk from Silks for You, unnamed, beautiful variegation. And shame on me for not having that fabric. It feels like a, almost like a good weeks, but a weeks. So that is, so I did some of this lower alphabet. I did some more on the border. Finished those little hearts. But I need to crack down and just get that done. There's not that much to do. And it's for my mother. Okay, so that is Myra Dunn, 1922. I have my work on pandemic. Well, I'll talk about it in plans, but I worked on pandemic this morning rather than after I film, because I have something that I'm going to be doing after I film that I will discuss with you guys. But this is Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers. And I'm stitching this on 32 count Platinum Lugana, or Laguna, as Nancy says, and using DMC 310. I am doing this with Pattern Keeper on my Kindle, and I love it. And I did not work on this downward part. I am still working on, I finished all of this up in here. So it's this area right in here is where I'm working. But that is Pandemic. And I also worked over here on this other side to bring that outside border down. I try to do, you know, a thread or so while I'm stitching on the fun part. So that is Pandemic by Long Dog Sampler. I know, it's a big piece of fabric. And I don't want to promise you guys I'll cut it off because I forget and then I just move on to the next thing. But I really should. Okay, so we've got that. And my last piece, so it's not like a gazillion whips today, is my 2 threads a day, 25 minutes, and that is Temperature Butterflies by Stitchin' Mommy. And what is very exciting about this is that I think I could have a finish on my next floss tube, but I have done the outline on all the, you know, the remaining 2 butterflies. So it's done. So that part is done, which to me is the hardest part. And I see right there, looking, I need to put, there's just a little more veining right there that needs to go. But isn't it amazing to see how long we stay kind of reds and yellows, and then November and December will be 2 different colors, more in the blues. So that is Temperature Butterflies by Stitchin' Mommy. And I'm hoping that that will be a finish next time we meet as well. So those are my whips, my works in progress for this 2 weeks. So what do we want to do next? Let's do Happy Mail, because I got some Happy Mail and I'm like a child when that happens. So where are we going to start? Well, you know, because I showed it with my news start, that Stacy shared the stash with me for the little red schoolhouse pin keep. So one of my viewers, after I talked about getting, I got Eleanor Rigby came, and I talked about the Blackbird charts that I had in the Beatles series. And one of my viewers who would prefer to be that lovely little stitchy bird sent me the other 3. So now I have the complete set. So she sent me Yellow Submarine. I just kind of want to squeal. She sent me Octopus Garden. And she sent me Long and Winding Road. So thank you so much for that. You know who you are. So now I have stitched Blackbird. I have Strawberry Fields, and then Eleanor Rigby and these, and I think that's all of them. So so I'm very excited and looking very forward to. We were discussing the Beatles. I think it was on the Stitch Across the Pond. I was a Ringo girl. Was definitely the whole time. I can remember living in Birmingham, Alabama, in the 60s, and Ringo. It was announced that he had married, and I threw myself prostrate on the floor, because I was so sure we would meet at some point and he would fall head over heels in love with me and we would live happily ever after. So I'm a Ringo girl, and I love the Beatles, and Stan, plays a lot of Beatles songs, which is great fun. So thank you, my little stitchy bird, for your kindness. It's very much appreciated. Then I got, I didn't know this was coming. It just came in the mail. It is a book that says, Grandma, Tell Me Your Story. And this is from Angie of Two Eclectic Stitchers. And it's a beautiful book. And you write your history. So it will be my history for little Vince. And so it's all laid out. There'll be a lot of pages about cross stitching. She sent a beautiful card with it. I'm not going to open it up, but oh my gosh, this woman now, and I'm not joking, I am literally trying to mimic her printing. I am working very hard at it. It's very block-like. It's straight across. It is gorgeous, and it would look so beautiful in this book. But we spent time together at the Sampler Symposium, wonderful time together, Angie. And so we did talk a lot about the baby, and Eva hadn't had the baby yet. We were talking about the anticipation of the baby. And so I think it's so sweet that you thought of me and you sent this. So thank you so much. So let's see. Now, that is, I'm just trying to make sure I've got all my happy mail. I do. So we'll go into haul now. I did get my Color and Cotton Fabric of the Month, and it's a 36 count in Renaissance, and it is exquisite. It is so perfect for a sampler. It's so perfect for anything. But that is my Color and Cotton Fabric of the Month. I placed an order with from Jersey Girl Stitch Co. Okay, so this was, but I just really wanted some her counting pins, and I got, they're called I think they're called Birds in the Berry Patch. So can you see that? The sweet, oh, they're so sweet. And she puts them on this very cute piece of ribbon. And then she sends a little card. It has a little, it has the little sticker that closes it. And just a sweet card saying thank you. And that is their information, which I will put below. She has her own website. it's a family-run organization, literally family-run. Everybody sort of has a part that they do, and I think that's lovely. So I encourage you, if you need such beauty, and they were completely sold out, but she's also now making a pin that that will look like this, but it has sort of this, the piece on top has a magnet. So you can, you can stick it in a pillow or something, and it's got a magnet that you could put your needle on. How clever is that? So, so that's Teresa and Anna of Jersey Girl Stitch Company. So those were my pins. And I think, oh, I did get, so that'll take me into a part of plans and why I can't stitch on Pandemic this afternoon. I purchased a piece of Overcast from Judy at Cedar River Linen. And oh my gosh, look at this. Oh, it's gorgeous. I did get a Stitcher's half because I thought, oh, it would, I don't think I'll need that for the piece. But I plan to start this afternoon with Teresa Kogan's Mystery Stitch Along. And this was the fabric that she chose, and Jody probably worked very hard to get that all out to us by today. And of course you can't see the whole piece, but it is called A Simple Life. And this is, I am a Patreon supporter of Teresa's. And this is for tier 4. It looks like there's going to be 1 of 6 parts. I think last time that I filmed, I did show you Strawberry Manor that I am continuing to work on. I was, they had already started that before I joined her Patreon, and but I love that as well. So that is the first part of it. So she's going to do a live this afternoon, and so that'll be fun. So I did get Jody's fabric for that. Okay, I also, this was a pre-order. I have my 2 pre-orders. I only had 2. I mean, from 2 different places. And this first one, which was the first time I had shopped there, is Stitch Happy Art. And I will put that in the description box below. She sends a beautiful little project tracking type device that you can write down what you're doing with her logo and name. And I ordered these button holders. Now, I'm going to be really honest because I love them. I wanted to see how they work because I think Stan could make these for me. And I'm pretty sure it's Running with Stitches. She did the beautiful bird, but she also had a thing, she had offered a pattern that said Stitch, which were the covered buttons. And so I got a couple of these, and I thought it'd be fun, to put welcome or spring or summer, something on them. I'll see. I'll show you guys as soon as I get the buttons made. But that came from Stitch Happy Art. She also had a little cute little package inside, and it had some of the more acrylic-like bobbins. And she put a couple of those in there, and a needle threader as well. So how cute, with a little card that said thank you. So I wanted to show you guys how sweet that was. I got it almost immediately. So again, another one of these store owners that picked up the stuff that was pre-ordered and got it out to us very quickly. The last things that I got as haul, and then haul's probably gonna way down, but they're random pieces. They're pieces that I wanted very much. They are certainly not everything that I wanted. There's just so many charts, the designers, but I know that they'll be there. And and I know that if I can get to a place where that I can get to them, that I will. But the first one is, and I got these all from Abby at Top Knot Stitcher. Again, very quick service. She got these right out to me. And the first one is Betsy's Spring Basket by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. Boy, if that does not scream spring. It is so beautiful. I stitched Peppermint House around Christmas, and that was the first of her designs that I had done. And now I've started the Red Schoolhouse pincushion, and so I went ahead and got this one. If left to my own devices and more money than sense, she would be another person. I would probably buy all the smalls that she does, because they're just delightful. The second one I got, and again, it was a must and kind of made me called out to me to work on Antonia, was Jan Hicks. Louise Chapuis, 1844. And I definitely intend to do this with the Vicki Clayton silks. It is absolutely stunning. She showed so many sneak peeks. And I think they would be just lovely next to each other. This is it Italian? French. And then Antonia is obviously a Spanish sampler. And I love dipping my toes into the different genres of samplers. So, and then of course, I did get Birds of a Feather. This by Blackbird Designs. This was a re-release, and I have watched people squeal with excitement when they were gifted or could buy this out-of-print chart and stitch it, and it's just beautiful. So I did get that. So those were the 3 pieces I got, not just the 3 pieces that I would like to get. So again, let's all remember to, when we can, as we can, to support our designers, to support our stores. We are very fortunate. Again, I will talk about going back to the Saturday Stitch Across the Pond. In the United States, we are very, very lucky. The things that we have access to, with no huge additional cost of customs and shipping, or the fact that they're just not in the country where a lot of these stitchers live. So we're very lucky here, and I think anything that we can ever do to help other stitchers in other countries as it comes across, we should take advantage of that and try to help them. So so that is my haul. My plans. My plans are, when I finish today, I'm going to sit down with the live with Teresa Kogut and get started on A Simple Life and get started. That's going to be a stitch along. I want to get Vince's birth announcement started. I am going next week. Stan and I are going over there for a visit. So, boy, I'm going to get to do some loving on some sweet babies. Oh, don't you love the way a baby's head smells when they're, oh my gosh, I cannot wait. So I want to get his birth announcement started. And then I'm going to need to pick a new focus piece, and my 7-day focus piece, where Karen, of a recovering monogamous stitcher, picks her oldest whip. I have told you guys I kind of cheat on that, and I kind of go more towards a piece that that I see a finish on. And so I think I've pretty much made up my mind that I'm going to take a Heart Remembers to the finish line. And that will be my 7-day focus piece. And I will try to give it some love towards the end of this month, since Thursday did not require the full 7 days. I also see a finish on my 2 days, 2 threads a day piece on temperature butterflies. And I'm, again, pretty positive that I'm going to put Real Comfort by Modern Folk Embroidery in there. I have been trying to put some work into that with Sarah of Sew Me Sarah's hashtag SMS Real Comfort Sal. And I think I will make that my, because it's a one color monogamous piece, and I think it lends itself to 2 threads a day easily. And I think Sarah's actually doing hers as a 2 threads a day piece as well. So those are my plans. Plus, of course, you know, I will stick lots of other whips in there. So I think the stuff that I had on my table, I finished. I hope everyone, especially in California, and I think again in the far north and east, that there are some ice storms. I hope everyone is safe. I hope it has been quite a weather year. Unfortunately, I don't think that that's going to change. I think we are going to experience more and more changes. On Saturday, I actually had a tornado warning that went off on my phone. And the tornado did touch down, not really close to me, but in the Sonora area. And we don't get tornadoes in California. So that's the first. It was frightening. I was actually here by myself because Stan was out listening to a band in the crazy weather. But so I hope everyone is safe. And if you've lost power, I hope you get it quickly. Damage to your home, my heart goes out to you. So if we've got our lives, I mean, that's what we've got to hold on to, right? So if you are new and you liked what you saw, I hope you will subscribe, ring the bell, share, and do all the things that we do on FlossTube. I can't let a FlossTube go by without saying to all of you that comment so kindly that it is so much appreciated. I feel it's hard to feel like you deserve to be able to start your day answering comments and having those lovely words to read. And I just appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, and I hope you keep them coming. And, you know, I thought maybe I would just throw it out there. If you guys have any questions that you would like to ask of me for me to answer on a FlossTube, I'm game. So I will write them down if you ask, or if there's anything in particular you want to know. I do see that my head is shaking. These were another style of earrings that I used to make. It has kind of a peyote tube and then the dangles. You've all seemed to enjoy a little bit of the jewelry that I've made. So I think I have covered everything. So I'm going to ask you to grab your stitching, get comfortable, and stitch what you love. I love each and every one of you. Bye-bye.